Viewmasters, it's the podcast that we do. Viewmasters, talk about movies that we view. Viewmasters, my friend Eric and me, Joe. Viewmasters, hey, let's start the show.
Hey, welcome to the Viewmasters, episode 278, Blade Runner. My name is Joe.
My name is Eric.
Hello, Eric.
Hello, Joe.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm very confused.
Okay.
So apparently 2 years ago we had flying cars and
Yes.
highly evolved robots.
Uh-huh.
And now none of that.
Yeah.
I gotta say that this all tracks to me as it's time to impeach Biden.
See, I was going to say that it's Trump's fault that we don't have that stuff anymore.
But we had it when he was here.
But it was in the process of being dismantled. That's why there's Blade Runners running around shooting stuff. Right?
No,
because those pesky replicants took our jobs. They come in here with their enhanced strength and their perfectly designed bodies.
Are they, though? I mean, did you see Leon?
I did see Leon, that's fair. Oh, poor Leon.
Yep.
We never did get to hear about his mother.
That is true.
I was looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah, they must have cut that scene. That must have been in one of the 6 other versions of this movie.
Yeah, I think it's in the work print cut of this movie, probably. Which is mostly just storyboards, but then they shot that one scene for it. No, I have no idea what the work print is. I've never seen it.
Me neither. I mean,
You've never seen this one before today.
I had never seen any version of Blade Runner until today.
Welcome.
Thank you, I guess.
I don't know. I'm interested to see what you thought of it.
Me too.
Does a lot of pop culture and Twitter make more sense to you now? Because I feel like
really.
Blade Runner references are pretty rampant on Twitter with a fair amount of frequency.
Yeah, I don't know that I see them that much.
Okay.
But I do feel like this movie has been so ingrained into popular culture that, like, I didn't even need the context to have it make sense.
Sure.
If that makes sense, I guess.
That does make sense. I get that.
Okay. Yeah, so back when gutter trash was a thing, and we did movies on that, I had a short run of episodes where I was just picking what I called missed classics.
Right.
And I would say that Blade Runner fits into that category for sure.
Yeah.
And a problem that I kept having with those missed classics is that a lot of them get real hyped up, and a lot of them cannot live up to that hype.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say Blade Runner was in there.
Yeah.
It's I don't know that I enjoyed this movie at all.
That's fair. Yeah, it's sort of excuse me. There's not a lot of forward momentum with it, I feel like. It sort of meanders. Which is kind of fun. If you're like in the mood for something like that. That's largely sort of mood and visuals, because I feel like the visuals are great. Like just the obviously the iconic opening sequence of the aerial shots of the sort of flaming towers in Los Angeles.
Right.
And then yeah, just the flying cars and the zeppelins with the billboards and the building size billboards, and yeah, just like there's a lot of visuals that are really cool. But it's sort of light on story. When you like or plot, I guess there's some character stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I've seen it many times and I still sort of grapple with it.
Okay. So the visual aspect, I recognize how good it is. But I think because clearly that aspect of this movie has been so influential that I have seen either riffs on this or just different takes or even one-upsmanship of it that kind of paled in comparison a little bit.
All right.
Because I don't know if this was the first movie to sort of do that dystopian urban neon and neo-noir kind of thing. But I have seen it many, many times since, and it just didn't have, I think, the right impact for me, I guess.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense.
Yeah. But you are absolutely correct. There is not much going on in this movie.
Yeah, like even as far as like we see Deckard do a little bit of investigation, because so the plot essentially is that Deckard, Harrison Ford, is a Blade Runner who is called out of retirement to catch these 4 fugitive replicants who have escaped and are now on Earth.
Right.
And then so, you assume, like, well, most of the movie is going to follow his investigation of that. And it sort of starts off that way. But then, it introduces the other replicant of the movie, Rachel. And then, after he finds, is it Zora?
Yes.
The one with the snake. Yeah. After he finds her, and kills her, and then after Rachel kills Leon, I feel like the investigation sort of ends. Like I don't know how he or I don't remember how he ends up at the house where Pris and Roy are holed up. Like other than because Pris and Roy murder Tyrell. And so he's just going to check out because Sebastian was there as well.
Yeah, I think
it feels like he just sort of stumbles on them. Like we don't. It's not as much. Like you expect more detective work in a noir. At least I do anyway, and
sure.
I feel like we don't get as much of that as I would have liked.
No, he does. I mean, he is told, I guess by his boss that, or by creepy Edward James Olmos, that, and I say that as that it's not, somebody I don't recognize, but I'm just likening him to Edward James Olmos. It is just Edward James Olmos, and he is creepy.
Yes. Yeah, everything he does is very cryptic, and he's fascinating in this movie.
Yes, he is.
He is not in enough of this movie either, as far as I'm concerned.
Wholeheartedly agree. From his first scene, I was hoping that he would appear more, or be like Deckard's partner of some sort, or just a recurring foil. But he just is kind of an errand man. But boy, is he memorable in those short scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Deckard finds out that Tyrell and Sebastian have been killed, and he calls Sebastian's house, and Pris answers.
Right. Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
All right, you got me.
Some investigation work there. Not a ton, but a little bit. But on the other hand, it's better than watching a 10-minute scene of him talking to his TV, telling it to zoom and enhance.
I actually really enjoyed that part. When you describe it the way that you did, it sounds stupid. But I actually was like, oh, what's he going to find in this weird photo that apparently you can, go into and rotate?
I mean, the resolution must have been insane. But, then again, we're talking about technology from 2019 after all, so of
it's
course
true.
it is.
The distant future.
Yes.
But yeah, I did yeah, I don't know why that part I found to be kind of riveting, but I did.
It's another one of those things where, I mean, we've seen at this point countless CSI type shows where they're like enhance, and at this point it's become a joke.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know if this is the first one to do that kind of thing, but it struck me as funny more than anything else.
Yeah. No, I get that, and I had that thought as well, but in my head I was like, well, it's future technology. It's a weird 3D, you can see around corners in this photo. I'm not sure what's happening. So it got a pass from me for being sci-fi, at least.
Okay. No, I mean, I'm certainly not going to say that this movie is not sci-fi. It is very sci-fi.
Yeah. It's period sci-fi at this point. It's period piece.
I don't know. They're I'm sure when making I know this is based off a novel that was written in the late 60s.
Mm-hmm.
But even still, why shoot for what I would consider to be a tangible future? just set it in the far-flung future. That way this kind of discussion never happens.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know when the book was set, but I mean, yeah, the movie came out in 1982.
Yes.
So it was a reasonable distance.
Yeah, I mean,
we're not talking about the Jetsons in the 60s here or anything.
Right. But hey, I mean, they couldn't have known that in 40 years we would still not have flying cars, or very enhanced robots. But they did get the fact that we are currently living in a dystopia, so we'll give them that credit.
Yeah, everything's dirty, everything's falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
People are trying to leave the planet.
Yep.
So yeah, they got some stuff right. I thought there was something semi-recently about Jeff Bezos talking about setting up a colony on Mars or something.
Mm-hmm.
And all I could think of was a new life awaits you in the off-world colony.
Well, going back to Philip K. Dick, Total Recall was also based on an idea by him.
I know, yeah, we mentioned that last week.
Get your ass to Mars,
I feel like we watched something else that was based on a Philip K. Dick thing, but I don't remember what now.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably not.
Steel?
Good story, Joe. Yes, I do think Steel was based on a Philip K. Dick story. You're absolutely right. Loosely adapted by Louis Simonson and John Bogdanov. Oh boy. So yeah, I mean, I know. Our favorite game. Did you fall asleep during this movie? I already know the answer for you.
Yes, I did. To be fair, I am very tired today.
Sure.
But yeah, I made it about a half hour and before I just sort of passed out. And then slept for about an hour when I texted you that I was probably going to be a little late. Because I still had about an hour and a half left of this movie.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's not like 3 hours or something. It's 2 hours, but
Yeah.
I do feel like you sort of feel every minute of it.
It's kind of plotting. But so all that I know about this movie, as far as the versions of it, is that there's like 6 other versions.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only one that Ridley Scott like 100% approves of. But usually when you hear, that kind of thing, like director's cut, final cut, whatever, ultimate edition, you like it's hard not to think about the Zack Snyder of it all.
Right.
think that, oh my god, this thing is going to be 3.5 fucking hours long. So I was very relieved to see that it is only 2 hours, like under 2 hours.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some other movie I've seen where like the director's cut is actually shorter than the theatrical version.
Nice.
Which I applaud that move. Kill your darlings.
Is it the Donner cut? Because I know that's shorter, I think, than the
Maybe
theatrical
it is that
version.
It could possibly be that, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's popped up other places too, but the Donner cut is definitely one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, the movie's pretty. I will give it that.
Uh-huh.
But so like I said, I did fall asleep, and I kept nodding off throughout.
Yeah, I got real tired and was close to falling asleep a few times, and then just had to like drag myself back.
Yeah. At one point, my lady friend was texting me, and I was just like, you know what? I have to buckle down and just watch this movie. So I was like, I got to turn my phone off. Got myself some caffeine. Picked up the cat so that, I would have something active that I could do that wasn't super distracting. And just powered through the rest of the movie. That all said, Rutger Hauer is fucking magnetic.
Yeah, I feel like all the performances in this are pretty solid, but he in particular is excellent.
I would disagree about all the performances part.
Oh no, okay.
I would say Harrison Ford is kind of a nothing in this movie.
It's classic Harrison Ford. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to be there. It's cold. It's wet.
I mean, you're probably right. I did have this thought that, halfway through it or so, it's like, he never worked with Ridley Scott again.
It's true, he never did.
I feel like he's a guy who would work with a director multiple times, obviously, Spielberg and George Lucas and whatnot. But this was the only Ridley Scott film he ever did, so there must have been something happening there.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like so part of the versions of this movie is that there was an international version and a U.S. theatrical version. The U.S. theatrical version was shorter and had Harrison Ford voiceover to explain a lot of what was going on. And I have never seen all of that version. I know I've seen parts of it on like TV, and Harrison Ford just sounds so bored, and like, why are you making me do this? Like, can like, I'll read this, that's fine, but then I got places to be. So I wonder how much of it is exactly. I got a pilot's license to get, and I got carpentry to do. So that's what I'm gonna go do after I read this bullshit about what it's like to be a Blade Runner and what I'm doing here while I eat noodles. So yeah, I wonder like how much of it was Ridley Scott and how much of it was just his experience on the movie in general.
Right.
And having a miserable time with it.
Well, clearly, if this is the 100% approved Ridley Scott version, he did not want the voiceover either, I guess.
Right.
There is none.
Yeah, the voiceover was a studio mandated edition, I believe, to make it more palatable for American audiences.
Well, sure. I expected a voiceover going into this, just because like I said, I have no idea what version I was picking here. Just the only one that's available, or at least for free. Or somewhat free.
Well, yeah, I guess you have to have the streaming service, but yeah.
Right, yeah. So I'm pretty anti voiceover anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of it when it's in a film, so I'm glad for that. But yeah, maybe it is he just didn't care. I don't know, but he's pretty wooden in this movie. The only time I felt he really came alive was when he goes to interrogate Zora and puts on his weird nerd voice. Yes,
that part is spectacular. I loved it. And then when he makes the phone call to Sebastian's, and he's doing sort of a character there as well.
Yeah,
like both of those parts I really liked.
I did as well. But yeah, Rutger Hauer is fucking great in this movie. And just heads and tails above everyone else. It's also... So, growing up as a kid in the 80s, I saw a lot of Rutger Hauer movies growing up.
Yeah.
I mean, somehow missed this one entirely for 40-some years, but... this is the first and only time I've ever noticed that he has an accent.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, of course he does. He is not from America.
Right.
But I've never noticed it before.
And even in this, I feel like it sort of comes and goes a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. But there's definitely, like, towards the end, it's not a fight scene. It's not an action scene. It's got more action in it than the rest of the movie, but it's still pretty staid and, uneventful. But the final battle.
It's a confrontation.
Confrontation, that's a good word. Between Roy and Deckard, like I feel his accent came on pretty strong during that scene.
Yeah, definitely.
But then, of course, it ends... it's not anticlimactic, but it's quiet.
It is quiet, yeah. I mean, that's sort of the whole movie, other than, when Deckard is shooting people, but the replicants just want to be able to live and live quietly, it seems like.
Right.
They only go around killing people when they're being interrogated or defending themselves.
Right.
Or I guess Roy murders Tyrell. Okay, never mind.
Well, that's more of a revenge kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Tyrell can't give him the life that he seeks. Whether it's... I know Tyrell has, like, an explanation, like, you know, that has to do with, like, viruses and whatnot, but you know, surely, you know, I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
Surely he could have done something.
Yeah, right. So whether he was just making that up or not, or just you know, willfully withholding, you know, the longevity that Roy seeks, who clearly is a dangerous character.
Yeah.
But he is only dangerous, like you said, because he's just not getting what he wants.
Right. Yeah, I feel like of all of the characters in the movie, Roy is probably the most complex.
Yes.
Like Deckard, and you know, talking about Harrison Ford's performance and how it seems like he's wooden and doesn't want to be there. Like that's kind of Deckard's thing, is like he doesn't want to be doing this.
This is true. Good point. That is very astute.
Yeah, so he's not putting his all into it because he doesn't. Right. He doesn't care. He's getting a paycheck. That's the only reason he's there.
It does. I mean, I don't know. There's got to be some sort of reason that he would cave so easily, though. So
yeah.
I mean, Harrison Ford obviously because of money, but you know, Deckard, who knows?
Right.
You know, it's never really explained what M. Emmett Walsh has over him.
Yeah, they have a sort of nebulous relationship. Maybe a Nexus 6 model replicant killed Deckard's wife or something. Who knows?
See, I kept expecting that kind of thing to like pop up too.
Yeah.
But then, you know, once he kind of sexually assaults Rachel.
Yeah.
You know, that aspect of Deckard's backstory kind of went away, but then there was a whole new problems that were happening.
Right. Yeah, Deckard's relationship with Rachel has a lot of problems. And the way that it's presented has a lot of problems. Like the sexy saxophone music while he's sort of forcing himself on her,
right?
Is not good.
No, not a bit. Yeah, I don't, so after Roy dies, like I thought that was going to be the end of the movie, but then it kept going for like 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
And did not care for any of that. Which honestly just circles back to the whole Rachel thing again, too. So
yeah. Yeah, because there's the love story between Deckard and Rachel is real shoehorned in. Yeah. So, yeah, to have to pay that off at the end, like, I don't know if that was necessary.
Yeah, yeah, it was not. So going into this movie, I know that there is discourse about Deckard being a replicant or not.
Mm-hmm.
Which, after watching it, I don't see any evidence of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main evidence for it is that he dreams about the unicorn. And then at the very end, as Deckard and Rachel are leaving, he finds the origami unicorn that Gaff has left. And like the implication being that Gaff knows that, you know, he has this memory because he is a replicant. I think that's probably the main argument in favor of it. But yeah, I was specifically watching this time to look for evidence one way or the other, and I feel like it's pretty clear he's not.
Yeah. And obviously, I have not seen Blade Runner 2049, so I have no idea what they try to do with that. I mean, based entirely just on this movie, I don't know that I would want to see Blade Runner 2049. I hear it's good, but I also heard this one was good too.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Blade Runner 2049. I will say this movie, the original Blade Runner, it feels a little dated.
Mm-hmm.
And
clearly.
I think clearly, yeah. I mean, it's from 2 years ago. So Blade Runner 2049 is like just visually at least a step above this one, at least just in terms of just the quality of the visuals, and it doesn't look as dated.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it sort of has a similar, and I've only seen it once. But from what I remember of it, it has sort of a similar pacing to it. It probably has a little bit more plot than this one does. And part of that is that it builds essentially on the end of this movie.
Right.
The relationship between Deckard and Rachel is key to what happens in 2049.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got that element of backstory to it, but I think even just on top of that, the characters are stronger, and it has a little bit more story, a little bit more going on. But yeah, I don't know if you didn't like this one, I don't know that you would enjoy 2049, other than maybe just like, ooh, look, that's real pretty.
Right.
But it's also a lot longer than this one is, so who knows?
Yeah. And I mean, like, I like Ridley Scott movies for the most part, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, right off the top of my head, I can only name 3 that I've seen, but I'm sure I've seen more.
Name them.
Alien.
Sure.
Blade Runner. And The Duelists.
Okay, I've never seen The Duelists.
We did it for Gutter Trash back in the day. I think it's his first major film.
Nice.
Which he directed when he was like 40. And it's kind of great.
Nice.
With Harvey Keitel and one of the Carradines. Not David.
Keith?
Maybe Keith.
Brian?
Yes.
I don't know another one. Is there another one?
There's like 3 or 4, yeah.
Okay.
Which, and of course, there's their dad, John, who played Dracula multiple times, and I watched 2 movies in which he was Dracula recently.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's Keith. Keith Carradine and Harvey Keitel basically play Victorian-era guys who just keep running into each other and keep trying to kill each other. Like,
that
just
actually sounds
like,
pretty awesome.
It's pretty great. It's like takes place over the span of like 20 years, and these 2 guys just have this fucking grudge against each other. I would highly recommend it.
Nice. So no Matchstick Men?
Nope.
No Gladiator?
I did see Gladiator. Okay.
Okay.
I enjoyed that.
No.
Oh, well, I mean, Prometheus and Covenant. I've seen both of those.
Right.
So.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of any others.
I feel like I could probably name more Tony Scott movies.
Oh, Kingdom of Heaven, I think, was a Ridley Scott movie.
Yeah, nope, never saw that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So I have one piece of dumb trivia.
Okay.
That I'd like to call out. So when Deckard goes to that crazy bar to find Zora, and her synthetic snake.
Yeah.
He talks, or he's looking for Taffy Lewis. The I guess he's like the, I don't know if he's the owner of the bar or if he's the curator of the stage show or whatever.
Yeah.
But he is played by a guy by the name of High Pike. And a couple weeks ago, I watched a movie called Hack-O-Lantern, in which he is billed above the title in that movie.
Oh, wow.
It's fucking terrible. But it's like the only movie that he's ever like starred in. Like he had like just bit parts and everything else after that or before that too.
Nice.
But High Pike also in 1975 played the mayor in a movie called Dolomite.
Nice. That's awesome. And super random.
Yep. Incredibly random.
That's excellent.
The only other... Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Nope.
I was going to say the piece of trivia that I have is that William Sanderson, who plays J.F. Sebastian in this movie, also appeared on Batman the Animated Series as the creator of the artificial intelligence Hardak.
Okay. So while watching this, I thought to myself, did he do the voice of Toyman in the Superman animated series?
Oh, he sounds like it.
Right? But I think that was Bud Cort that did that.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure. But William Sanderson was like the first name that I thought of when I thought about that. And I was like, oh man, I wonder if that's but the Batman thing is much better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a neat little Easter egg, like just robot Easter egg, I guess.
Yeah. He's such a prolific and weird actor.
Yeah, he really is. Something about the texture of his face in certain scenes in this movie was just really interesting. When he's in the elevator with Roy, on their way to see Tyrell, like there's just real close-ups of his face, and just the texture of it is so interesting.
I'm guessing
I don't even know how to describe it.
I totally understand what you're talking about. I'm guessing that's makeup, because it's revealed earlier that he is 25 years old.
That's true.
And when they said that, I was like, what the fuck?
He has Jack disease.
Yeah, they then reveal that he has Jack disease. And I was like, okay, that makes more sense.
It's really weird that they say that, too, because Jack doesn't come out for another, 15 years.
Well, that's what happens when you get futurists to work on your movie.
That's true. This movie really was ahead of its time. Oh man.
I guess this movie exists.
I'm sorry that you didn't enjoy it.
It's not your fault.
Sorry.
It may be my fault for just having waited this long to watch it, but I don't see what all the hype was about. So
yeah, no, I think it's exactly what you said, that it's just, it's so iconic and so hyped that like there's just no way that it could have lived up to a first time viewing
right
in 2021. So yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, oh well, we'll get them next time, right?
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Will we?
Yeah.
Is anything bringing you joy this week?
The dumbest thing is bringing me joy.
Excellent.
So over the course of a couple weeks, I paid a couple fees and took some classes and took a test. And this week I got my stamps and seal to become a notary public in the state of Ohio.
Awesome. That's so cool. That is, I really like that. That's so cool.
The day that my stamps arrived, like, it brought me just a weird amount of joy.
Did you start just notarizing stuff left and right just because you can?
I grabbed a couple just blank sheets of paper and I was like, I'm going to test out all these stamps. I got to figure out how this embossing seal works.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. So, whenever you come visit Ohio, if you need anything notarized within the state, I can do that for you for between $2 to $5.
Oh, keep that in mind. Oh, that's great. You nerd.
Just got to warn me in advance so that I know to bring my stamps home.
Sure, of course. So this is for work. This wasn't just I woke up one day and decided I wanted to become a notary.
Yeah, it was a work thing. No, I didn't just spontaneously decide to be a notary.
All right, that's fair.
Oh, man, I should have just told you that it had been a lifelong dream.
I've just always wanted to be able to say that things are really official. Now I can.
Just that sweet, sweet thought of all the money rolling in, that $2 to $5 that I can charge poor notarial service.
So when you notarize stuff at work, do you have to charge them for it?
No.
Oh, okay.
They paid, for all the classes and stuff. So,
all right.
Probably let the church members, get their stuff notarized for free.
Just, keep track of how much the classes cost and then keep track of how much stuff you're notarizing. And eventually their free ride's going to run out.
Good point. Good point.
Oh, boy.
What about you, sir?
I don't know. I don't know that I have anything this week, honestly.
You didn't get anything in the mail or anything?
I got a big box of DC Fandom swag, which is kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not too many other people are getting those. I didn't get one.
That's true. All right, fine. No NFTs were involved in this box, thankfully.
I mean, they did deforest all of Brazil just to make the box, but
That's true. It's a very large box, very heavy duty cardboard.
It's analog destroying the environment.
Yeah, the old fashioned way,
exactly,
like a man does. So yeah, that's probably I had some books in it and a t-shirt that's too small for me and a hat. So yeah, I'll deck myself out for 4 hours on Saturday for DC Fandom.
Well,
yeah, thank you.
No problem.
I'll bring the box. You can notarize it when I'm in Ohio.
Sweet. I do have a quick question for you. You're a comic book industry insider.
Allegedly, yes.
So shortly before recording, I was on Twitter, and I saw Colleen Doran post something vaguely about shots fired in the comic industry, but cannot find anything about it. Did something happen today?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right.
Marvel, and Penguin Random House announced a Penguin Classics line of Marvel comics.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool.
Well,
so there's a Penguin Classics just book line that Penguin puts out of like classic books, basically like novels and essays and stuff like that. And now they're doing some Marvel comics.
well, that's cool. So like, trades of like old stuff then, or
yeah, it looks like the weird thing is the announcement didn't specify what all was included in each of the collections, but I would imagine it'll be like the Marvel Masterworks, like the first 10 issues of Spider-Man or
right.
what have you.
Oh, I mean, let's take bets on like their first release is actually like Rob Liefeld's New Mutants.
That'd be amazing. No, I don't know what she's talking about, but I will look into that and get back to you.
Alrighty. And to that I say, suck it, listener. This is just for me to know now.
That's right. I will be providing no updates for the at-home listener on this thing that happened a month ago in your world.
Yep. Oh, do you have a movie for us to watch next week?
I sure do.
Yay!
Yeah, I am gonna go completely in the opposite direction from Blade Runner.
Okay.
So I did mention Batman the Animated Series. Yes, Spork Walker, exactly. It stars Josh Hartnett as no. So I did mention Batman the Animated Series while we were talking about Blade Runner.
Yeah.
And the thing that I am going to pick is the only Batman the Animated Series related thing that I have never seen.
Oh.
I don't know how I have never seen it, but it was a direct-to-video movie that came out in the early 2000s. And you may have seen it already. But I would like to watch Batman: Mystery of the Batwoman.
I have seen it back when it came out. I may own it.
Oh, I own it for sure. Just never watched it.
All right. You know what?
And it's on HBO. It's on HBO Max as well, I believe.
Okay. I was going to say, because on the off chance that I don't, but I'm 95% sure that I do. But also I'm not going to judge you for not watching it. I have like 500 Blu-rays, and I've seen maybe 100 of them. So,
sure.
No judgment at all. And let's not even talk about comics that have gone unread. Please
no.
All right.
This is a safe judgment-free zone.
Good. I'm excited. I have not seen that since it came out, so I'm very excited.
Awesome.
Okay, then.
Yeah, like I said, it's just one of those things that I just never got around to. So now I want to talk about Batman.
I am always up to talk about Batman, especially good versions of Batman. We can safely say that the Mystery of the Batwoman did not have such a cultural impact that you will not go into this with preconceived notions and walk out possibly disappointed.
That's true. That's true. I do not know what the Mystery of the Batwoman is.
Great.
So I'm excited.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I am vaguely remembering it, and that's disappointing. No. But I'm sure it'll still be surprising. I watched the movie version of What We Do in the Shadows last night, which I've seen multiple times since it came out in 2014. And I still forgot things about it. So, it all works out in the end.
Yeah, everything's new to you.
Yep, I have a terrible memory. Except for when it comes to random information about Blade Runner.
Oh, boy. All right, Mystery of the Batwoman.
Excellent. Looking forward to it. We will do that next week.
Sounds good. Talk to you then.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to The Viewmasters. You can subscribe to the show directly at view.guttertrash.net or at iTunes and leave us a review. Visit view.guttertrash.net for email information and links to Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time on The Viewmasters.